What's up, everybody? It is your girl, Destiny Gilliam, owner and founder of The Creative Reading Coach, where we specialize in creating the most simplified tools and services for you to teach your baby how to read at home. Now, this video is really important because it is all about comprehension. And comprehension is really special to a lot of you because that is the sign and symptom that something is going wrong with your child's reading. I say that because when you go to the parent teacher conferences, the first thing that they say is their comprehension is just really not where it should be. And the first thing that you do is you go out, you buy the comprehension workbook from Scholastic, and you feel like that is going to work, and you get no results, right? So that's what happens. But the flip side of that is what do you do when you are still teaching phonics, but you want to make sure that comprehension is still being taught and mastered like it should? Because just because they're reading at a lower level does not mean that comprehension should not be at the forefront. For example, I have a 5-year-old. He is an early reader. He's reading at, I believe, between a level C, level D, right where he should be for kindergarten. And he is spending a good majority of his time getting those words out. But as his mom, and because of my profession, I make it my due diligence to make sure that he is comprehending what he reads. And it doesn't have to be crazy, guys. A lot of people think that you have to create a whole list of questions to make sure that they're comprehending, and that is the exact opposite. So I'm going to give you some tips today on how you can make sure that comprehension is occurring while they are learning how to read through phonics-based practices. So let's get started. Number one, I want you to be clear on what comprehension is and what it is not. Comprehension, simply put, is the ability to extract the author's message and make meaning from it, okay? A lot of people have confused comprehension with the following: worksheets, answering questions, worksheets, and answering questions. In a previous video, I told you in life, we are comprehending all day long, okay? We are reading for instructions. We are reading for recipes. We are reading for directions. We are reading for so many different things. You have never, as an adult, picked up a recipe and said, I'm going to read this so I can answer some questions. No, you pick it up so you can extract the meaning and get the result. That's all it is, guys. You can throw those worksheets away about true or false, all that good stuff. It doesn't take that much. You can do something as simple as have them read a text, draw a picture about what they remember, and then say, hey, go get your book and let's label the picture about what you remember. Y'all, that's extracting information. And I'm willing to bet, especially if they like arts, they would prefer to do that before they sit down and answer some questions for you. Okay? So what should they be doing? That is a loaded question. That is an extremely loaded question because we know from a scientific approach that reading levels can span from as early as pre-K, kindergarten, as high as up to 12th grade and beyond. Okay? So what every child is supposed to be doing will be different. It is going to be based on their specific independent reading level. Notice I said that word independent. I'm not talking about the reading level that the teacher says this is too hard for them. And I'm not talking about that reading level that this is too easy for them. What are they supposed to be doing at their independent reading level? The reason that's so important is because if they can read that book independently, then they are going to have to do a task by themselves, okay? A lot of y'all get that confused though because you feel like, well, this book is too easy for them, so I'm going to give them a harder book. Well, what happens with that is they cannot extract the information because then we go back to our original problem was then they are trying to get those words out. Some very generic comprehension strategies you can do. For fiction, you can have them identify and describe the characters. You can have them identify and describe the setting. How did the settings change? You can identify the problem and the solution. You can identify like cause and effect. So the character did this, so what happened? You can have them identify like the theme or the moral of the story. You can have them identify so many different things. However, we want it to be developmentally appropriate. So what I encourage is that you know what a child should be doing at that independent reading level. And this time I am going to send you to Google, because Google has a wealth of knowledge about independent reading levels and what a child should be doing. You could do a quick Google search like level E, independent reading level, or something along those lines. And you should get a ton of PDFs telling you exactly what they should be doing. Here is the trick with that though. A lot of y'all will pull that checklist up and say, here, read this book and go do this. That's where you're going wrong. When you're reading nightly, say you want to talk about problem and solution, okay? When you're reading nightly, they should not do that until you have shown them how to do it. Like, let that sink in for a moment. We have become so accustomed to making them read and answer questions. There has not been a time where you have shown them how to do it. In the teacher world, we call this the I do phase or the model phase. Mama, you got to model. If you don't model, then they don't know what to do. Once you have done that a few times with different books and they feel confident, then you have a book for them to do that independently. Okay? Now, I'm about to get on a high horse really quickly. Another thing that's really important with comprehension, guys, is having the right books and making sure you have those on hand. I have been preaching this for forever. Make sure that they have access to books that they can read independently. The reason is you might want to just show them how to do problem solution. I say, hey, go get that book. Go get Time at the Dam. And he's already read it. You've already read it. So you can show them the problem and solution within that book. And so that model will only take you, let's say, 3 to 7 minutes versus you having to read the story, then model it. Keep them some books on hand that they can do by themselves, okay? And then the last thing, this is really near and dear to my heart because a lot of us go left. Stop asking them to do questions or graphic organizer if you have not read that text yourself. It is a slap in their face, because what it comes down to is that they're creating something for you, but you didn't have the decency to read that text ahead of time. So when they bring their task back to you and you don't have any feedback for them, then what that lets them know is that my work does not matter. And she's only doing this because she wants me to practice my work by myself. So that's why I'm really big on, if you're not going to read it and if you're not going to take the time to give them feedback, then don't give them the task, guys. All right, that's all I had. I know I kind of got a little high on that one, but it is very much so true. So here's the key. Regardless of where they are with phonics, you want that right independent reading book so you can show them how to extract that meaning out of the text. Once you show them how to extract that meaning out of the text, that is comprehension, guys. And remember, it does not have to be with a set of questions. And then last but not least, make sure you read the book yourself. Please drop your questions below. And then don't forget, oh my goodness, I forgot. When you are ready to join our online reading program where we teach your kid how to make meaning from a text as well as get the words out, get started with a consultation. You can click the description box below and click that link. Happy reading, and I'll see you next week.